Let's talk about something that might just break your brain a little. What if I told you the past isn't actually gone and the future? Well, what if it's already happened? Today, we're diving headfirst into one of the biggest paradoxes in all of science, the true nature of time. And trust me, it might challenge everything you think you know about reality itself.
So let's just jump right in with a really wild thought. Is it possible that all the moments of your life, your very first breath, you watching this right now, and even your last day, are all happening at the exact same time? It sounds completely nuts, I know, but some of our best theories in physics suggest it's a very real possibility. And that question, it's the whole reason we're here.
Okay, so to even start to wrap our heads around this, we need to look at the two main ideas for how time works. On one side, you've got the movie model. This is the idea that only the present is real, like one frame of a film at a time. Then you have the block model, which says that every moment, past, present, and future is already laid out and is just as real as this one. It's our gut feeling versus some pretty heavy physics, and they're about to go head to head.
All right, first up, let's talk about the one we all know and, well, feel every single day. This is our intuitive sense that time flows forward, like a river carrying us from one moment to the next.
Think of it like this. A cosmic artist is drawing the universe, one picture at a time. Every single moment is a new drawing. The one being drawn right now, that's what's real. The picture from a second ago, yeah, that's been crumpled up and tossed. And the next page? It's totally blank. The past is gone, the future isn't written yet. This is just common sense, right? But what if our common sense is completely wrong? Because this is where Albert Einstein walks in and just flips the entire table over. His theory of relativity did way more than just describe gravity. It totally redefined what we thought we knew about time.
So the crucial concept here is something called space-time. Einstein showed us that space and time aren't two different things. Nope, they're woven together into a single four-dimensional fabric. And here's the real kicker. How you move through space directly changes how you move through time. And that one single insight just shatters the idea that there's one now for everyone in the universe.
To really get why this is such a mind bender, let's do a little thought experiment. Imagine there are 3 alien ships way out in deep space. One is just hovering, not really moving relative to us. One is flying away from Earth, and one is flying right towards us. Now, you'd think they'd all be experiencing the same present moment as you are, but they're not. Not even close. So, because of how their motion is warping space-time, each of these ships gets its own unique slice of time that it calls the present. For the ship just kind of hanging out, its now is our now. Simple enough, right? But look at the ship flying away from us. For them, right now is simultaneous with what we would call our past, say the year 1924. And the ship flying towards us, its present moment lines up with our future, maybe the year 2124. So you've got 3 different observers with 3 totally different nows all happening at the same time. So which now is the real one? Is it yours, the aliens in 1924, the one living in 2124? Well, a core principle of relativity, you can call it cosmic democracy, says there's no special privileged point of view. All of them are equally real, equally valid. And if that's true, well, that creates a huge, huge problem for our tidy movie model of time. Because if you follow that logic, if all those different nows have to be equally real, it leads to a conclusion about the universe that is pretty startling, to say the least. Think about it. If an alien's now can be our past, and another alien's now can be our future, and all of them are just as real as our own, then it means our past and our future must also be just as real as our present. They all exist simultaneously. The universe isn't a movie being played. It's a static, four-dimensional block of space-time where everything that has ever happened or ever will happen is already there. This whole block universe idea can feel pretty unsettling, right? I mean, if the moment you decide to order pizza next Friday already exists frozen in space-time, did you ever really have a choice? If the future is already written, what does that even mean for free will? Are we all just walking through a pre-written script that we can't change? But just when you think physics has sealed our fates, another part of physics storms the stage: quantum mechanics. And it introduces a powerful element of genuine randomness that throws a huge wrench in the idea of a predetermined universe. What's really interesting here is the idea of true randomness. Quantum physics says that some things, like exactly when a specific radioactive atom will decay, aren't just hard for us to predict, they're fundamentally, intrinsically unknowable. Even if you had all the information in the entire universe, you could never know for sure when it's going to happen. And these tiny, random events can have massive effects. So picture this. One single atom decays at a random time. That causes a very specific genetic mutation in some creature. Flash forward millions of years, and that one tiny event has led to the evolution of some bizarre new species. But if that atom had decided to decay just a second later, that entire future timeline, it would have never existed. That really doesn't sound like a future that's already written, does it?
Okay, so we've got a conflict. On one hand, relativity points to this fixed, frozen universe. On the other, quantum mechanics suggests a future that's wide open and unpredictable. So, is there any way to make these two ideas play nice?
Well, one really cool solution is called the growing block universe. In this model, the past is real and set in stone. It's a solid block of things that have already happened. But the future is genuinely unwritten. It's just a sea of possibilities. The present moment is the very edge of that block, the advancing frontier where all that quantum uncertainty finally collapses into one single concrete reality. Time is literally being created as we speak.
So, after all of this, what's the final answer? Which one is it? The movie? The block? The growing block? The truth is, we don't know for sure. This remains one of the deepest, most profound mysteries in all of science.
So let's just do a quick recap of the main contenders. You have our intuitive movie model, where the past is gone and the future is up for grabs. Then there's the frozen block from relativity, where past, present, and future are all equally real and already written. And finally, the growing block, which is kind of a mix. The past is real, but the future is still open. And just look at that last row. Each of these models gives a totally different answer to the question of whether or not your choices actually matter.
And, it doesn't even stop there. The mystery just gets deeper. Some physicists think our feeling of now is just a local thing, not some universal truth. Others argue that time itself might be the ultimate illusion, something our brains create to make sense of the world. Or maybe time isn't fundamental at all, but something that just emerges from the chaos of smaller parts, kind of like how heat emerges from the jiggling of molecules.
Which brings us right back to where we started, with a question that's bigger than just physics. If our most basic feeling about time, that it flows forward, is wrong, if we're actually part of a static block of space-time or a crystal that's constantly growing, then what does that make you? What is a life or a memory or even a choice in a universe where the rules of time are so wonderfully and maybe even terrifyingly strange?